My name is Lynette, and in this presentation, I'll walk you through a full crisis communication strategy. We'll examine what happened, how the company responded, and what steps can be taken to rebuild trust and strengthen long-term reputation. 2022, Sky Mavis suffered one of the largest crypto hacks in history when the Ronin network was exploited, resulting in a loss of 600 million in Ethereum and USDC. Hackers gained access through compromised private keys and remained undetected for 6 days. 'Is primarily a technological and financial crisis with major reputational consequences. It damaged user confidence, exposed weaknesses in the blockchain security, and called Sky Mavis's credibility into question across the gaming and crypto industries. 'Qualifies as a crisis due to its scale, visibility, and the delay in communication. The company's delay in acknowledging the breach allowed user frustration and media scrutiny to intensify. This is the developer behind Axie Infinity, a play-to-earn blockchain-based game. The company was founded in 2018 and has since been the leader in the GameFi space. Sky Mavis is to build player-owned economies through blockchain games. Their core values include transparency, decentralization, and innovation. Critical success factors include user trust, security, and a thriving NFT-based marketplace. Reactions were largely negative, focusing on the delayed response and the vulnerability of Web3 platforms. Social media sentiment was a mix of shock, anger, and skepticism about the future of blockchain gaming. Some outlets framed Sky Mavis as negligent, while others acknowledged the broader security challenges of decentralized ecosystem. Sky Mavis was initially painted as unprepared, then later as responsive, but only after public pressure. Hackers were demonized, users were seen as victims, and Sky Mavis developers were criticized for weak protocols. The company eventually humanized its response through blogs and compensation programs, but the damage was already done. Mavis released a blog 6 days after the hack, explaining the breach and announcing the reimbursement plans. While the language was apologetic, they initially portrayed themselves more as victims than leaders, missing the chance to establish authority and control the narrative earlier. Normally, press briefings would include and acknowledge the breach and user concerns, outline actions taken, and reaffirm long-term commitment to transparency and security. Response release would include who, what, when, and where of the breach, a quote from leadership, and details of a resolution plan. It would focus on transparency, accountability, and future safeguards. Response plans should include a clear, calm, and transparent tone, immediate posts with daily updates, platforms to include Twitter, Discord, and Medium, and then also hashtags such as Axie Recovery, hashtag Web3 Security, and hashtag Sky Mavis Updates. Outreach should include crypto journalists, such as CoinDesk or Decrypt, gaming outlets, and Web3 influencer. Transparency builds trust, and relationships with credible media help control the narrative. Use Globe Newswire for wide distribution to the tech and crypto markets. It ensures quick visibility and credibility across investor and media networks. Branding, leadership bios, a detailed timeline of events, video messages, and a FAQ page. These assets provide transparency and reduce misinformation. Results using the Barcelona principles, success is measured through share of voice, sentiment analysis, social engagement, and user retention. Benchmarking starts with current sentiment and tracks changes post campaign. To rebuild trust, clarify Sky Mavis values, and prevent reputational damage. Every strategy aims to restore confidence and reinforce our leadership in Web3 space. Signs of missed opportunities include centralized risks and limited validator oversight, a preemptive PR plan, stronger community communication, and better security disclosure would have helped. Steps to a timeline to recovery would be immediately acknowledge and freeze the network, ongoing to update community and press regularly, long term, introduce security improvements, engage stakeholders, and maintain transparency. And KPIs would be social sentiment, user return rate, and media coverage tone. Recovery and long-term actions include launching user education campaigns, strengthening brand messaging, and showcasing continuous innovation. Transparency and humility will be the foundation of post-crisis growth. Manage it. The five different types would be instructing information, how users should respond, adjusting information, updates on recovery, reputation management, rebuilding brand perception, emotional support, acknowledging user fear and frustration, and corrective action, platform and security updates. Government language emphasized cybersecurity threats and regulatory concerns. Legal terminology around fraud and financial accountability shaped perception, adding pressure on Sky Mavis to respond credibly. The tone of coverage influenced public perception. Podcasts like Darknet Diaries added emotion and depth, shaping Sky Mavis' portrayal as both a pioneer and a cautionary tale. Developers be responsible for how their platforms are used? It's a gray area, but as PR professionals, we must advocate for ethical behavior while maintaining the integrity of our messages. Final thoughts. Sky Mavis's crisis highlights how quickly trust can be lost in a digital first world. As a PR director, I believe transparent communication, empathy, and strong leadership are key to recovery. Thank you for watching.